With the recent announcement of upcoming overhaul and content updates for Deadlock, which will likely bring a large influx of new and returning players, I wanted to make a video helping new and existing players understand the two differing types of support in this game, soft support and hard support, and how to efficiently play them. My name is Sleepy Jack, and this is why you're playing supports wrong in Deadlock. I got into Deadlock last August and fell into playing soft support as it's what I enjoy most and excel at. So, what is a soft support? Well, soft support bridges the gap between a core hero and a hard support in two distinguishing ways. As a soft support player, you are expected to be disruptive, attentive, and active on the map, all while dishing out decent damage with a rather low farm priority. You can handle yourself in most fights, and most soft support heroes have great peel abilities that allow them to safely escape ugly situations, but you are also expected to show up to team fights as soon as possible due to the incredible offensive utility you provide to your team. Hard supports, on the other hand, differ from this in the sense that they have lower farm priority than the soft support, cannot handle themselves in most fights, and are expected to hover around high farm priority teammates in order to ensure their safety while getting online or when looking for fights. The utility they offer is more protective of their own team rather than disruptive towards the enemy team, and this gameplay style is likely what most players think of when they hear the term support in the context of a hero shooter. In short, soft supports are damage dealers that exist as a giant no button towards the enemy team with counter utility, while hard supports are protectors who exist to ensure their teammates stay alive during teamfights and while farming with defensive utility. There's more intricacies to each role that we'll delve into shortly, but this is the quickest and easiest baseline explanation of each role. Next, I'll be diving into a few heroes in the game's roster, pointing out why their kit lends itself more to soft or hard support gameplay. For soft support, let's take a look at the Doorman and Ivy. Doorman's Call Bell deals burst damage and debuffs enemy accuracy and move speed. Ivy's Entangling Thorns create area denial, which punishes enemies who stay in its radius through damage over time and move speed debuffs. Doorman's Luggage Cart can displace enemies and stun them through hard CC, and Ivy's Stone Form can sustain her while stunning enemies at the same time. Both heroes want to play parallel to their carry, and split the focus of the enemy team by demanding attention through disruption. Hard supports, on the other hand, say Paige and Rem, want to focus on keeping their damage dealers alive above all else. Paige's Plot Armor gives barrier to allies, which buffs their fire rate and weapon damage, while Rem's Tagalong gives percentage-based burst healing and spirit power buffs to the teammates he naps on. While the soft support is creating chaos during the teamfight, these heroes buff and heal their teammates to ensure they live and get kills during that chaos. This is why support gameplay in Deadlock shouldn't be thought of one-dimensionally, but categorically, based on heroes who support their team through CC-based utility, and those who provide non-CC utility and allied healing. Ideally in a team composition, having a hard support who can keep the team alive, alongside a soft support who can ensure the enemy team's life is hell, will yield the best results from a macro and teamfight perspective. This gameplay ethos carries over directly into the most important part of properly playing support in Deadlock: itemization. When you decide to play either support role, you are effectively giving up the right to make yourself stronger in favor of buying the items your team needs to win the fights that matter. This isn't to say that you shouldn't be aiming for your power spike items like Rapid Recharge or Tank Buster. You should be, especially as a soft support. But while your carry and cores are buying items to make themselves strong, you'll be the one buying items to make the enemy team weak or keep your team alive. A soft support player should always be analyzing the enemy team's income and draft to understand what heroes are the most troublesome for their team. Counter buys like Knockdown for Lash, Disarming Hex for Wraith, Silence Wave for Calico, or even Decay for Abrams should constantly be at the top of their priority list during the game's mid-tempo. Ask yourself these questions when playing soft support. Who is the enemy carry? Who is causing the most trouble for my team at this point in the game? Which heroes do we need to watch for in teamfights? And what can I be doing to shut down the trouble child? These questions should be used to guide you towards proper counterbuying to be as annoying as possible towards the enemy players having the most fun in the game. Their suffering really is your amusement. For hard support players, you should always be analyzing your team's income and draft to properly assess what buys your team needs to stay healthy and safe. Does your team have a lot of gun damage? Get Heroic Aura. Is your carry being CC'd to death? Rescue Beam. Too many status effects? Buy Divine Barrier. Have a frontliner who's great at creating space and dealing damage? Buy Scourge for them. When you understand your own team's strengths and weaknesses, it allows you to do your job of keeping them safe and strong properly. Earlier in the video, I mentioned tempo, which may have been a head-scratcher for some, especially newer players. In short, this term refers to the pace at which a match is occurring. Soft supports dictate the tempo of the match more than any other role in the game. Understanding your respective hero's power spikes, as well as your ally's power spikes, is paramount to understanding when to push an advantage and when to slow down an enemy's advantage by punishing their positioning with disables to counter-gank or slow their advance. If lane phase is slow despite you hitting your early power spike, gank another lane to force enemy rotations or grab tower. If your team is behind in the mid-game, focus on wave control and peel opportunities to slow down the game and allow your team to catch up. If your team has a large advantage of some kind, consider forcing a fight by invading the enemy jungle or playing for a side objective like the Soul Urn. You are effectively the game's orchestrator, and it's up to you to decide when things need to accelerate or decelerate. Just remember that communication is key, and you should always be discussing your plan and thought process with your team so they know how and when to play off of the opportunities you create. Hard supports have some tempo control, especially in the early game, but their gameplay style is more reactive to the plays allies or enemies make to ensure their team's safety during the match. In closing, I want to make a few points. It's worth mentioning that technically speaking, any hero can be played in any position or role due to the amount of variables and item combinations Deadlock offers. Certain heroes may lend themselves to specific playstyles thanks to their toolkit, but this game is so contextual that it's about what will win you the game more so than following arbitrary rules. This isn't to say that you should build Paige like a carry or Victor as a support, but if you find that you desperately need to buy offensive utility on hard support, do it. This also goes for soft support heroes, where defensive buys like Guardian Ward can actually make or break games depending on the game's draft and sequence of events. If you're still overwhelmed by everything talked about in this video, I don't blame you. Deadlock has a ridiculously high skill floor, but its steep learning curve provides so much opportunity for improvement that it contributes to making the game feel so well designed and continually fresh. If you have any interest in playing either support role in this game, I really hope this video helped you with the process of getting your feet wet. If you specifically want to play soft support, then I'd recommend checking out my builds. They offer an easy-to-digest layout with contextual buys and full annotations explaining power spikes, why you buy certain items, when and how to properly counter-buy, as well as a flexible economy so you can provide value to your team without needing much farm. I update them constantly and especially after patches to make sure they adapt to hero and item adjustments. I currently have published builds for the Doorman, Ivy, Sinclair, Viscous, and McGinnis. Feel free to try them out and see what you think. If you have any questions about the video or my builds, please comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.